Inkert, Vero, and Ray. Over to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you so much for that, Miko. And remember, all the speakers coming to the virtual stage, the hand is raised, so you'll be able to see the video in the list. Once again, I can see we have almost 80 participants in the room. And like I said, I am joining you from Gaborone, Botswana, where we say hello, you say dumelang. So I'd like to find out from you, our guests or visitors who are here, how do you say hello in your language or the country where you're staying, where you're coming from? Let me see that chat box light up. I wanna learn hello in other languages today. Oh, I can see that hola already. It's already in the chat. Let me see that chat. Wow, it's going up. Yes, I want to see that. We need to learn how to say hello in other languages today. With that, while the chat is lighting up, I'd like to invite our grammarian, Veronica, to please come and tell us about your role today. You are muted.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. I'm here as the grammarian to share with you my role. As the grammarian, it is my responsibility to pay attention to how speakers carefully use the language. I'll take note of improper use of any words, quotes, saying, and thoughts. It is also my duty to introduce to you this afternoon the word of the day. And the word of the day today is urgency. The meaning for the word of urgency is the capacity to act intentionally towards a goal. I'm sure you can see this is in line with our theme for the day, self-directed leadership. Urgency means capacity to act intentionally towards a goal, and used in a sentence, it can be something like this. Strong, self-directed leaders foster a culture where team members feel empowered with agency, allowing them to take ownership of their work and contribute meaningfully. So I'll be watching out for the use of the word of the day. And at the end of the day, I'll give a report of how the word has been used. You may also use the word of the day in the chat box as you comment on the proceedings of the meetings. Thank you. Over to you, Madam Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you so much, Veronica, for that. And thank you to all the people who responded in the chat. I could see it really lit up. I liked someone wrote howdy in Texas. That's a nice way of saying hello. And then I think I also saw some, I don't know if it was Chinese characters. Maybe we would need to learn how to say that. But wow, this is actually quite interesting. We are learning today. This is a global club. I think you can clearly see that from all the different people who are responding. And hopefully also at the end, you might know how to say hello in a different language. And before I call our guest speaker to come to the virtual stage, I would like to once again invite Irene to please share in the chat our guest book. So for you, our guests, you might have missed it. Our chat has been very lively today. Just please feel free to fill in our guest book. Give us feedback. Maybe you're visiting us for the second time, the third time. We don't mind receiving that feedback. It helps us to become better and better. As stated, we're the Premier Club and we want to become even better. Maybe you are a guest your first time here. Please fill it, and it's a great way for us to reach out and get to follow up with you or get to know you better. And as stated in our program, we have a guest speaker today, and it is none other than Louisa Montalvo, and she will be giving us a speech a talk which would be for about 20 minutes. And Louisa was born and raised in South Texas and later moved to Austin, where she worked for Abbott Laboratories for 25 years. After retiring at the age of 53, she devoted her time to a cause close to her heart, rescuing dogs and cats. And for the past 8 years, she has timelessly fostered and cared for over 1,000 homeless dogs, personally driving many to their forever homes on the East Coast. Louisa first joined Toastmasters in 1989 while working at Abbott Laboratories and remained a member for 3 years. She rejoined in 2013, reigniting her passion for public speaking and has been a dedicated member since then. In 2019, she achieved an incredible success by competing in the international speech contest, where she stood out among 33,000 contestants from 143 countries and was placed second in the world. But her journey didn't stop there. In August 2023, Louisa once again took the stage, and this time she competed against 30,000 participants from over 150 countries. And what? She placed first in the world. She's not only the first female to return and win first place, but she's also the first Hispanic to claim this prestigious title, making her a trailblazer and an inspiration to many. Her presentation, It's About Time, will take us through her 45-year public speaking journey, sharing insights, challenges, and triumphs from her remarkable experience. And I would love to invite her to the virtual stage. Hello, Louisa.
Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening.
Yes, and I'm sure for you, how do you say hello in your language? It's hello. It's hello.
Hello.
Yes, very much true. So, as stated, with the speech title, It's About Time, Louisa.
Third place goes to Caroline Powers. Second place goes to Billy Webb. And first place goes to Janice Wright. Fellow Toastmasters, everybody wants to talk about how to win, how to get first place, how to get to where everybody seems to want to get to. But you know what we don't talk about? How to lose, or why we lose, or what happens when we do lose. I was speaking to a friend of mine and I said, a lot of people want to know how I made it to the world stage. So I put together a little list of 18 steps on how to write the perfect winning speech. And somebody said, you need to write a book about that. So I'm thinking maybe I should, because all I want to do is help anyone get to where I was able to get to. And then another person told me, you know what nobody talks about? Nobody talks about losing and how to handle it and how to cope with it. And what do you do when you lose? That was so profound, it actually got me thinking. And for those of you that don't know, since I joined Toastmasters in 1989 for 4 years and then rejoined in 2013, I want you to realize and remember that I've lost over 40 contests. You see, the first time I lost, and maybe the second and third time, I took it personally. How can I lose? What did I do wrong? What did I say wrong? What could I have done to make things better? What could I have done to win? And being able to sit back and realize that it wasn't something I did personally to lose. You see, now what I say when anybody asks me, how do you make it to the world stage? I said, you only have to do 4 things. If you do these 4 things, you're guaranteed to win. What are those 4 things? You have to say the right thing at the right time on the right day to the right judges. How do you do that? I have no idea. Because apparently 40 times I didn't do that knowing that's what I needed to do. You see, when you go up for a job, an interview, a relationship, your family, anything, we have to realize there are going to be setbacks. But whether we are going to win or lose, we learn from both. It's your choice if you want to learn from both. Now, the thing is, we want to win, we want to get whatever it is we want to get, but are we prepared to win? I wasn't prepared to win. I just knew I wanted to win. What happened immediately after I won? District directors from all over the world. Can you speak at our district conference? Can you come here? Can you come there? Put us on the schedule. Put us on your calendar. I was overwhelmed by people requesting podcasts, Zoom meetings, district conferences. I almost didn't know how to handle it. I had to stop, get in a quiet place and say, okay, this is what you wanted. This is what you've been working for. Let's tackle it. And really, that's the mindset you have to have with anything you do. But what happens when you don't get what you thought you should have gotten? All those times I lost, especially that first time, I still remember driving home and crying because I knew I had the winning speech. And why didn't I win? What did I do wrong? I soon learned I hadn't done anything wrong. You see, the reason I lost was because we still don't have AI judges. I feel if I'd had an AI judge, I would have won. But the thing that I quickly learned was even before I uttered a single word and I got on stage, the judges were already judging me. The way I looked, the way I presented myself, my posture, everything. And I hadn't even spoken a single word. I may have walked on stage and some judge had already deducted 10 points just because maybe the way I looked or the way I walked on stage or my lack of good posture or maybe my hair wasn't brushed or maybe I wasn't wearing any makeup. Whatever the reason, I'd already lost points. Now, where does this fall into leadership? You see, with leadership, there's so many different aspects involved that when one of your fellow Toastmasters is going through anything, maybe it's a competition, maybe it's just life, but a good leader will realize and notice that one of your fellow Toastmasters is having the situation. And what do you do as leader? What does a good leader do? Well, first, we can empathize, we can listen, we can try and ask how they're feeling. Because as soon as you are able to make a connection with whoever it is that you're wanting to connect with, that opens up the whole world for them. You see, all any of us really want to do is be heard. or be needed or be seen. I remember one of the times when I got on stage, it was 1990 in Corpus Christi, Texas. And you're probably going to laugh, but my goal back in 1989, when I heard there were 4 different contests, table topics, evaluation, humorous, and international. Do you know what my goal was in 1989 when I first joined Toastmasters? My goal was to win first place in all 4 contests in the same year. What? Are you kidding me? That was my goal. It didn't happen because in 1990, Friday night, I won first place in table topics. And Saturday night was going to be the humorous speech. And I knew I was going to win because to me, I had the best, funniest speech. I got on stage, and 2 minutes into my speech, my mind said, we're not doing any more today. And I completely forgot the rest of my speech. I even tried to restart my speech, thinking maybe I could catch up. Have you ever had 400 people staring at you, waiting for the next word, and nothing's coming out of your mouth? I have. Doesn't feel good. Especially when you knew you could have won. I walked off stage. I went straight to the restroom in the lobby in the hotel. And I almost started to cry, but I was so mad at myself for messing up. My mother, my sister, and my 4-year-old niece were there with me. And maybe that was the hard part, being embarrassed in front of my family. Here I wanted to make them proud, and I didn't do that. In fact, I'd convinced myself, at the end of the contest when they say, oh, could all the speakers come back on stage so we can interview you? I wasn't going to go back on stage. I remember my mother walking into the restroom and she said, Luisa, are you okay? Yes, Mom, I'm okay. She said, well, you have to go back on stage. I said, I'm not going back on stage. She said, really? I said, Mom, I forgot my speech. She said, so? Are you going to be the sore loser? Wow. She was right. So I walked back into the room and they asked all the speakers to come on stage. And I walked on stage. And do you know what the fellow Toastmasters did when I walked on stage? They applauded and gave me a standing ovation. What? I didn't even finish my speech. To me, that was pivotal. To me, that told me everything I needed to know about this organization. You see, it's not about who's better or who's had so many awards. I've learned with Toastmasters, this is an organization to where right now, actually today, with all the losses I've had in my family, you're my family. This is a worldwide organization to where no matter where you go, there's a Toastmaster club near you. And even better, there's Toastmasters in those clubs. And I have yet to meet a bad, unfriendly Toastmaster. Not one. In the over 15 years that I've been in Toastmasters, not one single bad seed. How does that happen? I think the beauty of Toastmasters is whether you're into this organization to try to win 4 contests in 1 year, to become a better leader, to become a better speaker, whatever your goal is, I think to the rest of us, it doesn't matter. We just want to support you. And how beautiful is that? I think if I had not gotten that applause and standing ovation back in 1990, I don't know if I would have continued with Toastmasters. And for that to have been the outcome, it told me everything I needed to know. This club here is an advanced club working on helping leaders become better leaders. You see, we're all leaders. We just don't know it yet. We all lead in some way, shape, or form, whether it's with our friends or our family or our coworkers. But becoming a member of an advanced club that specializes in leadership, that's got to be one of the best things you can do for the betterment of yourself. You see, you're already here. You're already interested in what's going on. All of us. I don't care if you're the world's best speaker. We all need guidance. We all need help getting where we want to get. And I am continuously wanting to learn. If somebody says, hey, why don't you try something like this? You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to try it like that. Why? Because maybe I've never tried that before. And I think being a leader or wanting to be a good leader starts with an open mind. Because with an open mind, I know, guaranteed, we can change the world. And I think that's what my mother told me as a child. She said, Luisa, whatever you do, make the world a better place. This organization for me, and I have to admit, as a child, I love the attention. I love the spotlight. My dream, because my father was a crop duster pilot, my dream has always been to travel the world. And because my mother was such an eloquent speaker, my dream was to become an eloquent speaker and motivate and inspire people the same way she did. And even though I know I'll never be as great as she was as a speaker, I'm still trying. So traveling, speaking to people from all over the world, that's been my dream since I can remember. Oh, and I've always wanted to be a stand-up comedian too. But guess what? Toastmasters has made my dream come true. I now travel all over the world. In fact, I just got back from India and Asia and Europe, speaking to strangers that quickly became friends. I was terrified, thinking, here I am in a wheelchair, getting on a plane, ready to travel 14 hours to a place I'd never been before, to meet people I'd never met before. Who does that? And as soon as I got there, all my fears gone. Why? Because I was greeted and met by fellow Toastmasters. I immediately felt safe and welcomed. And a week later, when I'm saying goodbye, I'm crying because I'm saying goodbye to 200 friends that I just made. And then I was leery. After leaving Germany, I thought, why am I going to go to Rabat, Africa? I don't know anybody there. I wanted to stay in Germany because I just made friends. And I get to Rabat and I'm greeted with the same warm welcome from fellow Toastmasters. And a week later, I don't want to leave Rabat. And now I'm thinking, I got to go to India and meet 700 people. And a week later, I don't want to say goodbye to the people in India. Being in this organization is something that I have told many people. Toastmasters is the best kept secret because 100 years later, I can walk out on the street and people don't know what Toastmasters is. I feel it is my duty to inform anyone and everyone about this great organization. Because no matter what reason you enter Toastmasters for, you're going to get it and more. I just wanted to compete. That's all I wanted to do. And now I feel I have to be an ambassador for this organization till the day I die. If you're considering joining a club, especially an advanced club, to help you get better at whatever it is you want to get better at, whether it's speaking, whether it's leadership, whether it's mentorship, you're in the right organization. And I'll tell you why you're in the right organization. Because 100 years later, if an organization does not evolve and change with the times, they get left behind. But realize that when a female, disabled, senior citizen, minority woman can reach the top spot on the world stage, anybody can. And that's the kind of organization you want to be a member of. So next time, third place, second place, first place, it's you. You're the winner. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Wow. Wow.